What is going on, everybody? I don't really do these YouTube videos, but here we are. That's me. My name is Wes. I'm 22, and I create content for health and wellness brands, particularly a lot of beverage and supplements and vitamins. But yeah, we're headed to Expo West 2025, which is a trade show convention where a lot of brands try to get into retailers, network with other distributors, manufacturers, all that kind of stuff. So, all right, it is day one of Expo West. I'm on, I think, like 3, maybe 4 hours of sleep. I had a connecting flight from Salt Lake City. Now we're here in Anaheim, California. And yeah, we're going to be shooting some content for Bare Maple and trying to network as well. But as a Wisconsin/Minnesota boy, palm trees and a sunrise, like, this is gonna be pretty cool. My goal with this event is nurture the client that I currently have, because I genuinely enjoy working with them, and but also I've got a list of brands that I want to meet and just tell them what I do, introduce myself, not try to oversell anything. They're not here to be pitched to. They're there to pitch to other retailers and buyers, and maybe partner with some manufacturers or ingredients. So I'm trying to just be not a fly on the wall necessarily. I got to put myself out there. But the goal with this event is try to land a couple clients that maybe I've even reached out to or had a call with, and circling back in person. I heard a phrase somewhere out there. It's the closer you are in proximity to a brand or a client or whatever it is, theoretically, if you can connect with them more, the more success you have. So this is me taking a big risk for Feast, but we're scrappy. I definitely did not have the funds to do this entire trip. So huge shout out to my client Bare Maple, Brian and Rosabelle. You guys are awesome. This would have been about a $4,500 ticket to get into the event. I just had to cover my hotel and food and all that stuff, and a flight, which I had miles for. So really, yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about this event for the last probably 6 to 8 months, and every time it's been mentioned by someone or I've seen ads for it, I'm okay, my gut is telling me it's really scary to put yourself out there and go to something like this, especially a travel convention like this. But I think the financial pressure and the risk side of it, it's all about your risk tolerance, and I think this was a very educated execution. And yeah, I'm hoping that I can look back at this video and be yeah, this was a really good call. So yeah, we're gonna pack up and then we're gonna go to get our badge, and then head over to the Hilton to document our first project, or our first part of the day. We're going to be going to what's called the Fresh Time Pitch Slam convention, or not convention, it's just a competition. And Brian at Bare Maple and Rosabelle, they're going to be competing with a few other brands to see if they could get a spot temporarily in Fresh Time, and maybe a permanent spot at all 70 other stores. So I'm excited to document that and kind of go from there. So we'll see you there. Also, my other dilemma is my plan was to wear these custom Feast Films t-shirts that turn me into a walking billboard with messaging hey, we create content for health and wellness brands, here's my socials and all that. And then about 2 days ago I realized this is a business casual, not I can't just wear a t-shirt, basically, is what I got out of it. So I've got a couple colored shirts, and they're low-key a little wrinkly, but and on top of that, this hotel sucks. This iron is stuck in here, and there's I don't know if you can see it, but right here, this piece right here is pushing into this to where this is cracked, And I feel like if I try to take that out, they're gonna charge me for it when I have done nothing, because that's just the vibe that I've gotten from the space. But yeah, we're gonna wear a not so nice, but like gets the job done cover up to like look a little bit nicer. And it does unfortunately cover like the back of the shirt. But I'm hoping that maybe there will be like a dinner or something like that where I can wear this just as a shirt. And then maybe somebody who's there is like, wait, what do you do? Content? Like, that's great. So fingers crossed for that, but you gotta roll with the punches, you know? Slight change of plans. It turns out that when you go back 2 hours time zone wise, your Google Calendar, if you don't have a solid Wi-Fi connection, doesn't update when you're supposed to be at certain places. So we are headed straight to the Fresh Time Pitch Slam. 2, check, 1, 2. Words and things, Bare Maple, day 1. It was honestly a blast getting to meet Brian and Rosabelle and the team at Bare Maple. This was my first time meeting them, and I think outside of photo and video, it's just cool to see, you know, what it takes to get a brand into a retailer and have kind of an inside scoop. So getting to take a backseat and watch Brian and Rosabelle talk about their product and the benefits and answer questions on the spot. It was definitely a high stakes conversation, but just really interesting to witness firsthand, and definitely has me curious more and more about the CPG space.
We're about to pitch Fresh Time. They're in there right now. They're right there. We're gonna pitch Bare Maple, and they're gonna be blown away. They're gonna love this. I swear. This is functional beverage. It's ginseng.
Nice.
So clean energy and 0 caffeine.
Nice. What time's your appointment?
We actually just had it. We are the second one, but we wanted to come up and do the.
I know.
Yeah, so we wrapped up the pitch, and then after that, Brian and I, we got a coffee, got to talk about more just kind of like what we're trying to do here with the event when it comes to content, what my intentions are with the event, and also just kind of some future plans with Bare Maple. So this is a time lapse of setting up the booth. I didn't realize how many like intricate steps there are, even for something that once it's finished, it looks like there's just a few pieces. A lot of brands, they would bring rubber mats as a way to kind of save your joints, and I'm glad that we had those. Yeah, this was also just a good opportunity to start to capture content, kind of break the ice with people, and just get to know the people at Bare Maple a bit more, which is awesome. I'm kind of just filming this voiceover on the fly here, but I think, yeah, it was just cool to ask questions about like, oh, like how was this booth made? Like, did you guys design it yourselves or anything like that? I think in a second here we might have like a clip of that coming up.
No, this is kind of a big collaboration. This is Rosabelle plus our designer. Rosabelle, who was this? This was Zach who helped us design this, right? Or was this Visual Natives?
This was Visual Natives with all the creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Foundry was the one who got all the pieces from.
Yeah, so we got Visual Natives plus Rosabelle plus a little bit of me, but mostly Rosabelle. And then we kind of like put things together like a jigsaw puzzle and hope it works.
I also found a lot of parallels. Like, I think creating a set on a film set, like every detail matters, like the positioning of signage that you have. I know Rosabelle was talking about like, oh, next time if we put like our 3 key functional stats on like the top part of the banner, we wouldn't have to worry about, you know, a table or something blocking it. But yeah, it was just super cool to see the operational side of building a booth, and also how massive some of these other booths are. It's crazy what a brand will put into just the booth alone. I think I have a clip here coming up of just the sheer amount of pallets of not just product, but construction equipment, like literal wooden crates of set pieces as if it was like a proper like sound stage. But yeah, here's that banner I was mentioning. they had the ingredients and kind of like key stats on the bottom. They were like, oh, next time we should flip it so that you don't have a table blocking it, which I thought was a good idea. But yeah. All right, we are wrapped with the first half of the day for Bear Maple and Expo West. I'm just dumping some footage and editing some photos right now. Overall, I am, first off, in a change of clothes because it's so hot out. But second off, like, physically and socially, like, exhausted. I think one of the biggest challenges that I face as a business owner, which is also a strength, I think, in certain ways, but in a situation like this, it's more of a cost, is that I am, like, incredibly introverted, especially when it comes to large gatherings. Like, I don't really go out and party or, like, go out to bars that often. And I definitely get, like, overstimulated very easily. I also, it is 1:17 p.m., but it feels like 3:17 p.m. for Central Time. And all I've had to eat today was a burrito. Thank you, Brian, for the burrito. I appreciate it. But I put an order in for some food. Yeah, so I'm, like, very low energy. Honestly, kind of, if I'm honest, a bit down on myself. But I think that's more to do with the fact that I think I went to one booth and met two people. I got some cards. But yeah, like, it's only up from here. I think confidence wise, like, I can come across a bit better. It's not that I didn't sound confident, it's more just how I felt afterwards. And I got to remember that whole point of networking, like, you don't need to have any emotional attachment to anything. And I also think, like, imposter syndrome is, like, a huge thing going on right now. Like, I'm 22. I have had some success in this industry, but when you're surrounded by literally, like, some of the biggest brands in the country, and then some startups, it's definitely, like, overwhelming and kind of one of those moments where you're like, why am I, like, here? Like, why do I have, like, the right to pitch myself or have these conversations? But part of why I wanted to film this is to, like, talk that out, because I think, you know, me a year from now watching this is probably going to be like, dude, you had no idea what you were doing. And I don't. Like, I have a rough idea of what I'm doing. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm in a season where I've been somewhat comfortable for the last 6 months. And this is, like, a big push in the direction that I want to go. But it's just a matter of pushing myself over the edge to actually follow through with it. And I think we've reached that point. So I'm going to keep editing these photos, eat some food, and then maybe go back to the expo and see if I can have a couple more conversations before I grab some dinner with Brian and the team at Bear Maple. So excited for that. Okay, I lied. I just wanted to say this one other thing. So there might be someone out there watching this in a similar position or about to be or whatever it is, but I was watching this clip that just played back, and I think the thing that I forgot to mention that I need to remind myself, and I think anyone watching this, is that if you're networking in some way, especially if it's an event that is relatively hard to get into, whether that be because of travel, expenses, or, like, the exclusivity of it, like, if you get yourself into the room, that alone, I think, is a factor or, like, piece of evidence that you belong in the room, even if you don't feel that way, because you need to pave your own way, like, set your own table, or make. One of my best friends, Nicole, she gave me a quote this summer, and that was, like, a similar kind of feeling that I'm in now, where I, like, didn't feel like I had the right to show up to a run club with my camera and just, like, shoot photos, because I didn't want to, like, interrupt the piece or something. I don't even know. Fear of rejection is where it stems from. But
Her phrase is like, you need to be the one to make your own seat at the table because no one else is going to save you. No one's here for you. It's just you against yourself. And yeah, the thing with this event, like I need to remember that I'm not just soliciting and, wasting people's time. I provide value for health and wellness brands and help them create high quality content. And sometimes it can feel like you're like asking too much. Like I'm the type of person when it comes to receiving gifts or giving them, I hate to ask for things because it makes me feel like I am like needy. And it's not that I'm like going up to these booths being like, hey, like, please work with me. Like, like it's not out of that. But it can definitely feel like you're coming across that way. So I guess if I had a key takeaway from the first half of today is don't worry about how it goes until after when you want to like analyze how it went. And really just like, it's literally social talk, like 101. Like if you want to have a genuine conversation with someone, give, and let them do all the talking. Meaning like show actual interest in their brand and their products. And, then when you've kind of like filled their cup, they're going to be curious what you're about because of how good of a conversation it was. And I'm saying this not out of practice because I think the first one I had, it was okay. Like I did a little bit of that. But now I have that as like data as a networker on what I could do better the next time later today. And so I think I'm going to go back to the expo after I eat some food here and try to hit up a few more booths and just spark some conversations. Start with maybe some smaller brands and just say, hey, like, what will you guys do with your product? And yeah, I'm also going to crack my back because I've had a backpack all day and my like upper back is so like pinched from travel. So yeah, we're going to go do that. And then, yeah.
All right. We are headed back to Expo West, day one. And we're going to try to not get hit by traffic. It's kind of crazy right now. But we brought our iPad, which will have pages on my website that I think I can show people. We've got a hotspot so that we don't lose connection, and a full stomach, which I think is going to make a huge difference. I also called a friend for a good half hour or so just to like vent. Yeah, let's go pitch. Also, to save, if I were to guess, probably $5 to $10 per trip. We were walking all the way to the venue. It's like less than a mile away though, so there's that. Yeah, the goal for the next hour is to have 5 new business cards in my pocket. Ideally, all 5 of them from really good conversations. Not even me like pitching really, but just getting to know the brands and making myself known and leaving it at that. So we'll see how it goes. Also, I just wanted to point out on my way in today, I requested an Uber because I had to last minute go to a thing. And I literally walked a mile and then went that way to then be dropped off literally a quarter mile right over here. And there's Disneyland. All right, so this is officially the first day of the expo. The day before was more of a setup day. But really, ultimately, my goal with this one was capture a bunch of content at the booth, people interacting with product, all that good stuff. take some photos, have a blast with the team, and also network, which I did a lot of. So here's an update with that. All right, it's the end of day one officially of Expo West. That was a huge success, except for the fact that I'm having to walk a mile in the rain with no umbrella and all my camera gear in my backpack. I'm tired, my shoulders are sore. I'm not losing my voice though, which is good. I thought like my concern was gonna be it was too loud right after like yell, but we're all good. So I'm gonna head back to the hotel, eat some grub, and you'll see the update. Big news. All right, it is day, whatever day it is. It's Thursday. I had no energy to give an update, but here's the scoop before my Uber gets here. Got about 11 business cards, which is great. Had a lot of conversations that were really good. A couple rough ones, but like that's how it goes. And there's this one brand, they're called Gruins, and they create a greens vitamin gummy, like a bunch of little gummy bears in a packet that you can take. And about a month ago, I did a spec shoot for them that I just finished post-production for. And I was gonna see if they were gonna be like having a booth at the event as an exhibitor, and they weren't. I was like, oh, that would have been cool. Like imagine my first impression is I meet them in person and then I'm like, hey, like I did a shoot for you guys. Well, I kid you not, yesterday I bumped into 3 people wearing Gruins branded jackets just walking around the expo. And so I asked one of them like, hey, like, do you guys work with Gruins at all? And they're like, yeah, I'm their brand manager. I'm like, you're exactly who I'm trying to talk to. So I pulled up my phone because I had my website, which had the project on it already, which is something I intentionally did for the expo in the case that there was like a gummy brand, but I didn't think Gruins was going to be there. And so I showed them the shoot. They didn't see like all of it because they had to kind of like head out right away, but they're like, oh my gosh, yes, like here's my email, send it to me and I'll look at it. And I'm like, sweet. So that was a huge win. And I think my big takeaway from this whole thing is just like the power of human to human interaction over like a cold email. I think my chances of landing another project with a brand that I've just met are much higher, even if I'm not like pitching them on the spot, which I'm not doing. It's more just like, hey, like, can I try some of your products? And then just get some small talk going and be like, cool, here's what I do. I'm here with Bare Maple and I do a lot of beverage work. And yeah, so I'm really excited to see what comes of this whole thing. And now we're gonna go to a coffee shop again and yeah, just keep pitching and creating some content for Bare Maple. So stay tuned. Fun fact, I don't know why this is, but every travel job I have, I always have a burrito for breakfast, it seems like. All right, we're in Hall B right now. It's so like freaky. Like I'm here as a guest exhibitor under Bare Maple, so I get in way earlier than most. But there's like an intercom system that goes like, the show floors will open in 15 minutes. And it feels like the Hunger Games when you're on like the pedestals. They're like counting down. It's kind of dystopian, but I kind of like it.
You go St. Louis? Yeah, Long Beach to St. Louis, correct? Awesome.
All right, that's a wrap on day 2, at least open at the public. Man, I'm really feeling sore. I got hustled though by this one guy who had a what's it called? One of those like shock muscle machine, a TENS unit. So I tried that out for the first time, and that was cool. But then he tried to like sell it to me for like $200, and I was like, bro, I am not your demographic. Like I am, but not today. So yeah, that was fun. What else happened? I ran into some people at Olipop, which is a brand that I've actually shot not content for the brand, but like as a spec shoot to use as pitching material and then pitch to the brand. And there's also a chopper, it looks like. Hello, chopper. It's raining again, which sucks, but to be honest, like it's kind of nice. Like I'm from Wisconsin and Minnesota, like it's freezing there right now. We had a blizzard, and honestly, like I can't complain. I'm like sweating too, so this is like cooling me down. I definitely wish I brought like a second spare pair of shoes, because these are my, oh geez, there was a huge puddle. I feel like I'm about to get splashed so hard right now. If I do, it'll be on camera. Look how big that puddle is. Anyway, now we're headed back to the hotel. A lot of new hot leads. A couple awkward conversations as always. Like, I don't know, I think something I've realized so far with this whole expo is like networking. It's not always the most sexy thing in the world. And more often than not, you're gonna have a few misses before you have a few really good conversations. And I've seen people talk about stuff like this, but like putting it into practice, I think is a lot harder. Like it's hard to, you know, feel motivated to go for another brand after you just had kind of an awkward conversation. But I think what you gotta remember is that it's really just the specific person and their needs or how they're feeling that day. Like there's a million things that could be why they don't really want to talk to you. So really you just got to keep going and do what you can. So I'm gonna get some food again, maybe an ice pack for my leg, just sore, and kind of go from there. So day 2. We're definitely feeling the shoulder pain. Oh my gosh. But we got a lot of product. I might do like a haul just because it's kind of fun. But yeah, I'm so exhausted. I'm gonna recharge for the night and probably edit some photos from the day, maybe make a reel or two, and send them off for the brand. So should be exciting. For those of you that are curious, this is the haul. I've got about 20 something beverages, it feels like, and I've drank like a bunch of them already. I got a bunch of snacks, some protein pretzels that are 28 or 27 grams of protein for a small pouch. That's crazy. And this fanny pack from Mosh, which is a really cool brand that their mission is to take a portion of their proceeds and donate it to Alzheimer's research, which is really cool. But yeah, this is like the haul right now, and I have to try to fit it in a duffel bag with all my other stuff, so we'll see if we can fit it all. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to snack like crazy, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So all right, this is driving to our last day of the expo. My main objective was to clear out all of the hot products aisle and North Hall. And again, out of respect for people, I wasn't going to film any of that. So here's me at the same coffee shop for about the 4th time in a row with my daily burrito, also a brand called Huxley. They're in Minneapolis. Yeah. And then fast forward, after getting all of the people I wanted to talk to, helped tear down the set for Bare Maple. And if you look closely, there's like some funny bits here, like Brian taking a nap on the floor in a second here. And then, oh, yep, there it is. That is a wrap on Expo West. Year number 1. Definitely going to be back. That was worth every penny. All right, that's a wrap on Expo West. Holy crap. That kind of rhymed. Yeah, that was a long couple of days. And do I feel weird filming as people pass me? Absolutely. I'm usually behind the camera, if you can't tell. But I think that the networking alone, which was the whole point of this, but I think more importantly, just the idea of face-to-face human interaction, like, there's nothing more genuine and connecting than that. Just having an in-person handshake does so much to open doors. Obviously, like, nothing officially is locked in. Like, the next step is following up in a couple weeks. But my advice, if you are a service provider like me in any industry, go to the places where your clients actually in person physically go to, especially when it's accepted to network, like a networking event. So would highly recommend it. And yeah, now I'm gonna decompress for like a week
and just get back to Minneapolis. So, Ryan, Rosabelle, CW, John Henry, if you guys are watching, thank you so much for bringing me on for this. It was an absolute blast. Hope we can do it again someday. And yeah, Expo West 2025. Peace out. No, just kidding. I'm not gonna do like a. All right, I'm ending the video now.
Okay, I lied. I was gonna end the video there, but it's now the next morning, and I just wanted to share. I'm doing right now a few selfie videos. I've got a bunch of business cards. I'm not doing this many selfie videos, but there's a few brands that I actually have some product that they gave me, and I had some really like genuine conversations, like this brand Level, for example. I walked up to someone at the booth, and he was like taller than I am, and if you know me in person, I'm 6'6". This guy was 6'9", and instead of being like, hey, like, can I try a sample, my intro was, hey, random question, but like tall person to tall person, where do you buy your pants? Because that is a huge problem when you're tall. And he like loved it. We laughed about it. He gave me his card, and yeah, I think there's just something super special about creating like little moments like that. Like I hate selling. I don't really enjoy that aspect of the business. Like sometimes I never force a sale, but sometimes you have to kind of do that. But really, like, it's less about forcing something like that and more creating connection with people. And then if what you have to offer supports what they're building, that's just a bonus and it's a good fit. And then you sell to help people. But I just wanted to share that because I'm doing these selfie videos right now, having a bit of a blast doing it. And yeah. Overall, I've probably already talked about this. I don't remember what I filmed, but Expo West 2025 was such a blast. I met some amazing people and learned a lot about myself, even outside of work, of, you know, the art of approaching people and like fear of rejection. Like it's not that deep. Like you just got to go out there, put yourself out there, especially as an introvert. Like I'm going to recharge for the next week. But yeah, I had a blast. And would definitely do it again, and hopefully plan to. Not even hopefully, I definitely am going to be here next year. So if you got any value out of this video, I don't necessarily do YouTube. This is more just a time capsule for myself, but obviously if you're watching this, it's public somewhere, or maybe you're a friend of mine and I sent you it. I'm going to be editing this on the plane because if I don't do it right now, I'll probably put it off for like 3 years. But yeah, if you made it this far into the video, appreciate you watching my journey of building a production company. And yeah, this first business, it's been a blast building so far, and I'm excited to see a year from now what this is going to look like. So appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.